Good morning, PMI community. I'm very glad and happy to be here with you today. It's definitely an honor. I had a side discussion with Dr. Ibrahim Shira earlier on the corridor, and since we share the same ecosystem, and he claimed that he was surprised that I'm here. It's true. We have very busy schedules, day and night, but I'm happy not because of this speech, but because the fact that I will be able to hear also from you and learn from the project management, always evolving field. Today, I'll be shedding the light in this speech on mega projects, part of this event's purpose, but more into the TNL, the transportation and logistic systems. Now, in my humble view, I consider this as the skeleton of all projects, and therefore if the skeleton is being planned, designed, and implemented properly, it's highly likely that other sectors will succeed, and we have more successful projects around this skeleton. Before I move into this, I want to share a personal story. I'm positive and sure it's one of many great stories around the PMI community. Back in 2009, I used to be part of a project management department team in Mudun. It's an authority in charge of managing and executing projects within industrial properties in the kingdom. The project management department team was consistent of 11, 12 people, so it's small to mid-size group, and we manage or assist project managers in many projects. I used to be a junior project manager back then, working with my colleagues within that department and also with the head of the department. We had a regular meeting. I could recall it was probably bi-weekly meeting with the Director General of the authority, the current Minister of Hajj and Umrah, Dr. Tawfiq Rabia. And on one of these meetings where we observing the portfolio of our projects and providing the status to our DG, and also seeking support from his side, he came across with a question that I never forget to all of us, the project management department team. He surprisingly asked, how many of you do hold or earn their PMPs? The answer was none. None of us, even though we were actually leading the portfolio of industrial properties that considered, a big contributor to the GDP. He made, a quick comparison to a sister department, the IT department, and he said, there are 2 people with PMPs at the IT department. What's going on with you guys? Down the road, 2010, I, decided to made a big decision to go and pursue my PhD, so I left Mudun. But that statement was still in my mind, on top of my mind, always, as a professional, and also due to that comparison he made. So I went, pursuing my PhD, keeping busy with the PhD studies, but at the same time, working on my PMP prep. Earlier, 2011, I went to take the test for the first time, and I got the famous word pass at the end of the test. And I still remember the small town where I selected the test center. It was called Broomfield, Colorado, and I remember the parking lot precisely, and I was the happiest at that moment. Because I thought, having PMP next to my name is a big deal, and that's it. That's the hope behind it. It is truly something that adds to any professional. But just similar to PMI, where it evolved from the fact that it induces project management body of knowledge in the 90s, moving to the fact that it examines practices within project management, all the way to the agility part of it. We, project managers, need to evolve and think differently to reflect on our industry's need. We need to be more proactive, nimble, and also more innovative, and move from processes to principles and more understanding. This is also the case for many industries, one of which is the transportation industry. The transportation industry, and I'm sorry if I'm blocking this, just notice it's behind me. The transportation industry is a wide-ranging and a transformative industry that consists of many transportation modes and huge assets that needs to be managed properly and executed with full attention. Transportation in marine sector, transportation in aviation sector, transportation in land, transportation across railways, but also logistics that facilitates the movements between all of these modes as something that we need to consider and keep in mind as project managers and project professionals. The industry is changing rapidly to the fact that we anticipate, and many do anticipate, that the sector will be totally different in a decade time across all modes of transportation. Automation, data and digitalization, sustainability, shared mobility, disruptive technology, and this is something that we can apply to all modes of transportation. Roads, for instance, we can witness now that we have autonomous vehicles evolving rapidly. We have also V2X technologies and more smart infrastructure around us. We do have ports and rail and supply chain fully digitalized. We have also witnessed a lot of work around Uber for trucks. We have noticed electrical vehicles evolving and improving around us with a lot of the infrastructure requirements, 3D printing, but we are also seeing big movements and developments around the flying taxis and also windowless airplanes when it comes to the aviation transportation, and also the Hyperloop that is evolving quite quickly. In 10 years' time, we might see autonomous vessels. This is a big topic. It's been discussed in many events. The IMO is one of these organizations that start to think about it and reflects it on many principles and missions within the sector of marine, and also the hybrid electrical airplanes. So this means that we need to think and be ahead of the curve as project managers. This called within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the development and launch of the NTLS, the National Transport and Logistics Strategy. It's definitely something that we need to consider to keep in line with the Vision 2030 of the Kingdom, but also to contribute more significantly to the nation's GDP. With an investment that is pretty close to $160 billion US. The aim is to enhance the capacity within our ports to 40 million TEUs, to triple the capacity of our passengers in our aviation system to 330 million, and also to ensure a sufficient roadway network system is in place and a high quality of logistics zones are also constructed and made available to facilitate across these kind of transportation systems. All of this to be achieved by 2030 within the Kingdom. One good example that reflects on the importance of mega projects, and many of stakeholders within not only the transport sector, but in the ecosystem consider this as the project that would pretty much deliver most of the KPIs that we have within the strategy. It is the land bridge project that would basically connect the east to the west coast ports, passing by many logistic zones. That will definitely facilitate the movements of cargo and also passengers, and it is definitely a game changer. Which is more important for us as project managers around this project is the fact that we also applied some of the PMI principles. Single leaders is something that we considered around this project. Informed and supportive management is always there for this project, and this is something that we witnessed across all levels of management. Also, the project goal clarity is spread out across all stakeholders, no matter what is the role. Integrated plan, it's a mega project. And also the establishment of budget and plans for the schedule and the time of implementation. If we look around the globe, we also witness the fact that many countries do commit to mega projects within the industry of transport and logistics. California Railway is something that's been improving with a massive budget and high expectations. Similarly in France, with the Railway Express, the expansion is something that they're talking about a lot, and the expectations are higher than ever thought of. Similarly with the Heathrow plans around the airport and the hopes to expand also more into the already established hub globally. On the other side, if we don't manage the importance of project management practices and principles within the transportation and logistics surfaces, we might witness some big deal of failures. One good example is definitely the Berlin-Brandenburg airport. It's already behind schedule, over budget by at least 3 times for what it was planned for. And many of the aspects and principles that we have examined across our project management practices was not really considered precisely in this project. I share some of these, as you can see in the slide. Stakeholders management wasn't really managed the way as it's been published and announced. Lack of communication, which is 90% as we all know, and also the poor planning and procurement practice around the project and other factors led to the failure. So project management is still there, plus the fact that we need to be more innovative and adaptive to the new need and technology. In summary, I decided to share this, and I'm sure you have many other contributors or contributions to a success of a mega project. 6 key elements that I consider very important for any project down the road: prioritization of your portfolio projects, clear, consistent governance is very important, especially when it comes to mega projects. The delegation to a single expert leader is very important, not to lose track of the project progress and to ensure success. Continuous master plan integration is very vital when it comes to mega projects. Strategy and timeline, as we all know, are very important. The pre-planning of these aspects, considering the fact of the size of the project, is very important. And eventually, tying your KPIs of this mega project to realize really the impact of any project is very important, especially when it comes to correlating such projects to mega vision like the one in Saudi Arabia, Vision 2030. I want to thank you all again for allowing me to be in front of you, and I'm looking forward to hear from you and learn, and I'm very happy to be part of this event. Thank you so much.